garage grinding to clean off my car because it's been buried under stuff since I think last year, maybe even 2 years ago. I don't even remember. It's been a while. On the roof, I had it piled up extremely high. Boxes with tools, lights, everything that could be piled on top of the car was up here. And just laid up here for convenience. And just set a tool here, go out there, work on the car, come back. When you finish, put the tool back on top. All kind of crap. So, luckily I'm cleaning it back off and getting down to the basics. Like, when I stopped messing with the car, I think I had ordered this, which is for idle stabilizer valve. I have the valve and other accessories in the other room. This is a nice suede Momo steering wheel. That's a little bit larger in diameter that I bought to replace that. So I'm cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. And then once I finish cleaning off the top, before I even do a startup, but I have to clean a lot of this stuff off. All I did was have the engine covered up, so when I was grinding and everything, no metal or debris get inside the turbocharger. But I still have to clean all of this stuff from behind the car before I can even back it up. Heavy stuff, brake rotors, motor mounts, control arms, jacks, everything, axles. I have a lot. Old bushings that I pressed out for the control arms, for that rear suspension. I have a lot. And then I have to move this engine out the way and move that engine out the way and some of this other stuff so I could at least back it out to start it up, and probably to move these engines in while this is backed out. Still a lot of work, and not to mention one more engine sitting in the back of the truck that I might as well move in the house too once I finally get to the stage to get the car backed up. Not enough room to completely back it out of the garage, but enough to get it backed up far enough to squeeze the engine past, as well as to start up and start going back over my basic tune where I left off last year or 2 years ago. It's been a while. I'll have to actually look at my pictures and documents to see when the last time I messed around with it. So I'm grinding, trying to get it done. We have an event we would like to get prepared for, and that event will be Waterfest. I wanted to focus on this beast right here, which was very fun. DQ 500 transmission, 3.6 liter conversion, about 70% wired up with the original wire, 70-80% wired up, and now at the stage to fabricate the exhaust manifold. But we put a halt on this because we're waiting on the subframe, and I received the email Monday that the subframe will possibly be another 2 weeks because it's coming from Poland. Alright, I have the top of the car cleaned off. Only things up there is just a box of gloves and my idle stabilizer valve and a flashlight. But for the most part, I'm trying to move these heavy engines into my garage. And this one is no joke because it has a DQ 250 transmission attached to it, which is super heavy to push this thing in the garage. Right next to, and this is the 3.2, but pushing it right next to this 3.6 with a DQ 250 as well. So I almost got it in the garage, and then the engine that was originally there, the engine block, which is here, I can either squeeze that somewhere in or just push that inside the house and have that one ready for tear down soon, or possibly squeeze it out here just to leave it out here in between those, so that way it'll be already out here and ready for tear down. And then this one, I have to back the car out, try to squeeze this one out the way first, and then get it in the house, and the other engine that's in the truck, get this thing out of here and get it moved in the house also. So I definitely have my work cut out for me. A lot of physical labor and heavy lifting. A serious workout. Alright, had the first VR6 in the house. The other one's parked here over in the corner. That's the engine block that I need to strip down. And the last one is inside the truck, but I can't make it past here because the forks are too wide on the engine hoist. So I have to do the same thing as I did before. Push the car back in the garage. Hoist up the engine, roll the engine down here. Put the engine on this dolly. And make sure it's tight in the corner. Then back the car back out of the garage so that it'll be positioned like it is now with the engine right here, and then roll the engine into the house as I did the other one. A lot of back and forth because I don't have no room. I mean, we're tight. Check this out. We're actually easily an inch from touching. We're close. I mean, I could back up further and it'd just be like an inch all the way down here, maybe just a little bit, but it's still too wide to actually get up over here. This is a little hill. It would throw my engine off balance and possibly flip the whole engine over into the car. I've tried that before. It was very risky and I was struggling with a lot of muscle not to let the engine tilt over and hit the front wheel of my car and scratch the wheels all up, and just to be able to get it inside the garage. And needless to say, that wasn't fun. So I have to use extra muscle and just push the car in and out. Whew, that was a workout. All right, had the car pushed in the garage. Now I'm gonna hoist up the engine, carefully roll it downhill, and position it on this dolly, or position it on the dolly and then roll the dolly in the corner. And all this is muscle, because as you can see, as soon as you roll it over here, you have a big lip right here. So that means I got a heavy engine that I gotta kind of roll and lift up to get over that little lip right there, the transition. So this is a workout, definitely. Well, it rolled back. Luckily, I had the strap connected because it rolled back and was ready to flip, and it snatched up tight on the strap. I mean, it snatched tight. Whew. That was a close one because this is a nice little incline. Definitely a nice little hill. So it rolled backwards as I said it probably would, but luckily I had it strapped up. That was my whole objective, to make sure it was strapped so that it didn't just free fall on its own and just roll out of the back of the tailgate and smash down on the ground. Had the engine out of the truck, rolled down the hill, and placed on the dolly, and I had to stack wood to keep it balanced. Now I gotta squeeze it tight in this corner, back the car out again, push it back out, roll the engine in, roll the car back in for the night, and then clean all of this crap up and get something to eat because it's late. It's already 9 o'clock. I've been out here all day. So now I should be ready tomorrow to come out and look over everything and try to fire it up and pick up where I left off a couple years ago. That is it for tonight. It's 10 o'clock. I'll pack this stuff up tomorrow. This was all beyond my car. The rear brake rotors, motor mounts, the control arms and bushings. That was off of this TT. And the axles. And I have this pushback in the garage. And all 3 engines, the one that was in the truck and the 2 that were out here, all pushed into the garage, which was a chore. But got it done. Time to go and eat. Persevered. Thanks for the strength. Finally have all the junk that was piled up on top of this thing for 2 years. Next step is to blow off and brush off all the cobwebs. And I mean, see, this thing has spider webs all over it because it's been sitting and collecting dust. for about 2 years. Spider webs everywhere, all over the engine, everywhere. So I'm gonna clean up the cobwebs and prep for startup. So I think I discovered what my issue was with my sync errors not advancing the timing like I wanted. My trigger pattern, now I fabricated this distributor setup and it works excellent, but for some reason every time I go to tune my car, dial it in, it would retard the timing instead of advancing it. So that was a major issue. So if I'm running boost and I need to advance my timing before TDC, I had a problem because it was not advancing. Major issue, and I mean major. So apparently with this style setup, I need to go into my menu and set this up for Evo 1 through 9, because of the Evo, some of the Evo cars are set up with a distributor style sync cam crank slash pickup, and I have to set this up in a similar application. So therefore, once, and I can still have it programmed for my individual coils and all the bells and whistles, but that way my distributor will be rotating in the right direction, also at half the crankshaft speed, and all that. The computer can then sync my spark with my combustion, my ignition spark, timing, everything should match up. All theory, and I think is probably correct, but I won't know until I test it out. So I was actually purchasing one of these setups for an Evo as a conversion. So this worked excellent, but I'm just like, let me go out on a whim and purchase something else to see what's going on. And also the structures that came, and it's for Volkswagen. It's a Volkswagen conversion, and it uses the Evo / Miata style cam sync pickup for crankshaft and cam. And in the instructions, they said set up for Evo. Bingo. Once I saw that, I'm like, that was my problem. Of course, it's a Volkswagen, and I have not worked on any Mitsubishi Evos or Miatas, so why would I set this a Volkswagen up for Evo? I'm VW, custom. It don't even have VW in the menu, but that should do it. So we'll find out tomorrow, because it's a little too late today. Finish cleaning up the rest of the stuff and all the stuff I had outside that was remaining from the big cleanup, and brake rotors and dry shafts that was all blocking up, and I stored all these axles under here and had to get a lot of stuff out the way and make room so I can at least push this back and forth in order to do my baseline startup for my cold start enrichments and warm-ups and my idle and rev tuning. So to be continued. So this car has been sitting for well over a year, and spider webs and everything on it, and I have had it trickle charge, but I don't know if it's going to start up, but I'm going to give it a shot just so I can have an idea where I stand tomorrow when I go searching through the menu to make some corrections. So my battery switch, just swap that on, so that was off. I definitely don't know if this is going to start or even turn over, but let's give it a shot. Turn the T forward. Okay, had a fuel pump priming. Let's give it another prime. Let's give it a shot. I don't think. Yeah, it should be. Nothing. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's turning over. With old E85 that should not have been sitting. What the heck? My foot isn't even on the gas pedal. Sitting for a while. Incorrect ignition timing. The whole 9 yards. It's a cheesy startup map. And surprisingly, my injectors weren't clogged, because you should always drain the fuel out the tank when you're running any type of ethanol fuel in there, especially if it's going to be sitting for a long period of time. Let me sight the alternator because I'm not making my voltage yet. There we go. Oh, it's pulled up. That was probably a little too much fill. It's been sitting. Let's give it another shot. Yeah, you heard the starter trying to kick back. So that goes to show timing, and as well as it dumping fuel in there. Timing needs to be advanced a little bit more so that it's not fighting the starter and I'm getting that extra kickback. So one of the things I had set up for this, and I'm gonna just shut it off, I'm happy with just a baseline startup because I bought an idle stabilizer valve. This thing is just idling off of throttle body. Butterfly cranked open a little bit, which is not good. It's an older car. Even this older engine came with a cheesy style idle stabilizer valve. Never put one on it. I do have a nice electronic one that I would use the SM4 to control it. And I'll go ahead and start playing around with this bad boy this week. So that's a positive sign. Where I left off about well over a year ago, I'm happy. Now it's time to get down to business. This turbo got some serious spool. And this one isn't even a ball bearing turbo. I think this, I don't know, this might be the ball bearing. And I think my larger one may be a journal. But this is just from idle. The thing was spooling like easy 40 seconds after I shut the car off. 50, 55, oh my goodness. So we had probably a minute, 58, we had a minute of spool time. I actually shut the car off and hit record, and we had a minute spool, down spool of the turbo just spooling itself down with the engine off. That's some serious spool. Alright, I'm out here tweaking my idle, fill, and timing. And it is idling good without even connecting my idle stabilizer valve yet. I've been playing a little bit with the fuel timing maps, and check this out. I mean, we're just idling right here, high 1400s, low 1500 RPMs. And I mean, it's just a nice little steady, it's not fluctuating much, especially for a 4-cylinder. And it's holding within its margin pretty good. Before it would be teetering a lot more back and forth. But this is just some mild tweaking, whereas I haven't even hooked my scope or anything up to really start diving deeper into what my ignition timing is doing or my dwell timing as far as how long I dwell my pulls at this RPM. But for the most part, it's doing pretty good so far.